So I told him I can do something else. So he gave me options of nursing, then other, practical skills. I told him I've always wanted to be in the medical field, so let me proceed with nursing.
Okay.
So he told me, since you didn't perform so well, you're going to start from a certificate level. I told him it is okay. He gave me examples of so many people have started
Who have
from
made
certificate level and they've made it to where they wanted to be. So I'm like, it's okay with me. I'll go and do a certificate. So that's how I got into nursing.
Okay.
Yeah, even getting into nursing, there's a lot of series that went on. Which school do you go to? Where do you study the nursing? I think I did interviews in like 5 different schools.
Okay.
And I ended up doing government interviews and went to a quite different school from what they expected.
Okay. So you end up doing nursing. That is a certificate. That is which
a
level?
Certificate in comprehensive nursing.
A certificate in comprehensive nursing. Okay. So you finish your certificate in comprehensive nursing.
Comprehensive nursing.
So after finishing, getting done with your certificate, then that is when you decided to jump into the job market.
Yeah, when I finished in March 2021. And when I came back home, a sister of mine, the one I stay with currently, she had bought a clinic together with a friend. So she told me...
Was she in the medical field as well?
No, she's in a totally different
field. So it was just business?
Yeah. So she told me, you go start working there as a receptionist and as well as a nurse, dispensing drugs and everything. I'll be giving you 100,000 of my salary. So I told her, it is better than staying at home. Let me just go and work. Being in a medical field, you have to be there and keep on, practicing.
So, but were you passionate? Apart from just finding it as an easier way of proceeding with life, were you really passionate about it? Would you say that you were in school and everything was wowing you? You were like, wow, this is what I wanted to finally do.
To be honest, when I enrolled into nursing, at first everything looked to be okay until I started thinking, am I really supposed to be here? Because as in between there, I want to be in the medical field, but then I don't know exactly whether it is where I am supposed to be. Because even in school, I remember there are times I would wake up and be like, no, today I'm not going for lectures. And I think the whole of my last semester in school, I attended like 2 lectures. But I was able to pass exams by God's grace. So I lost interest
along the way. Okay.
But I had to proceed, since at home, that's what they want. And I can't tell them I am stopping there and doing something else, which I even didn't know what else do I do.
Okay, so you're in a state of confusion. There is a family that is expecting you to proceed with your life, but you feel like you barely made it through even the certificate level because you were quite confused and you didn't know what you wanted. But again, there's something that we were already doing and decided to go ahead and do just that. Because I want us to arrive at a place where you formulate an honest question about where you are right now. Yes, we have had the narration, but what is the most critical? What is your presenting issue? What can you say that if I change this thing, it is going to change the trajectory of my life, or it is going to change the destiny of my life, or it's a pivot, or it's going to change a lot of things in my life?
I think it's the attitude and the way we look at life. You know, when you've grown up in a background of everything is presented for you, because everything would be there. You're told everything is given to you. Perhaps you don't sit to think of what next. So I grew up thinking everything is just going to be there until life started hitting me hard. And I felt like I need to change my attitude towards life.
Okay.
And know I can do something for myself. But then the question would be, what is it that you want? What is it that I want to do? There are times I would sit and speak to myself and be like, maybe I'm just meant to just speak to people, because I would feel okay with that. Just sitting and speaking to friends, someone comes to you. And what's surprised me is someone would come and tell you their challenge that they are going through, not knowing you also have your own challenge.
And then
But
you
you
end
would
up helping
sit
them.
and talk to them, and they get it and go use it, and they are okay with it. They are okay
So
in their life.
I'm clear we are starting to get somewhere in this whole talk, because you being able to find the center of your life and working from the center of your life, not working from the frustration and the disappointment, because all those things cover up who you really are, and then you tend to die inside, but on top you are screaming different problems, and yet they are not the actual problems that you are facing. Because you being able to identify and saying that, no, the job is not my problem, because the job is not your problem. People are getting jobs left, right, and center.
True.
Some of them are losing them every day, and they are getting new jobs. And we can't say they are lucky. No, we can't say that they have prayed too much. You get it?
Yeah.
It's a matter of positioning. It's a matter of some of them knowing exactly what they want. It's a matter of some of them just stumbling into opportunities. So different dynamics are actually happening around. But the moment you figure out and say, you know what, there is an issue with my attitude, my outlook on things, because your attitude paints everything. It either paints it bright or paints it gloomy. For the times where you have looked at life like this is the end of the road, you realize you chose that attitude.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what, I've hit a dead end. I don't think there's anything like coming back from this. And again, there are times where you've had this ray of hope and being enthusiastic, and you have looked at things of, maybe this is a blessing in
Actually,
disguise.
there are days you wake up in the morning and your mind is blank. There is not, you feel like there is no hope for you.
Yeah.
Perhaps you don't know where you're supposed to be. Even when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm just going to church and pray. Even after praying, you're like, I've prayed, but then what next?
So tell me, on those days where people have actually nicknamed it as in you woke up on the bad side of your bed, there is no bad side of the bed.
True.
But it's our moods and our attitudes that dampen on some days, and you realize that how you put on changes.
Yeah.
You wake up one day and you just feel enthusiastic about putting on that lip balm, and then you wake up another day and you just feel like you are, to whoever it may concern, as in, look at me if you want.
No.
If you don't want to look, don't look at me. You'll not even have the ounce of energy to put on an earring or to even lift a prayer, because you'll be like, no, they're just going to bounce on the ceiling and then come back to me. So why am I praying exactly? So there are those days that will happen, but just the knowledge, what has not beaten me but surprised me at your age, is to know that the job is not your problem. The problem is inside. Your outlook on life. Because your attitude precedes your actions. You know, you understand when I say it precedes your actions? That means your attitude comes before you act. It informs your thoughts, it informs your actions, and then your actions inform your results. So for everything that you have literally done in life, it has been out of your attitude. How you look at it. So when you say I enrolled for a course and then I did a course midway, I felt, you know, so you lost the morale on the whole thing, that even after you rolled out, you're like, all I'm looking for is survival.
Money.
Oh yeah, all I'm looking for is the next best thing to being home.
And you know, growing up and they are telling you, there is money in the medical field. So all you want to do is wake up, go work, make your money, and life goes on. You don't know, you don't even think of what's there after making the money. You just want to see the money.
Because they told you
There is money in the field.
So many of us have found ourselves at the crossroads, and we keep asking the same questions without finding clarity about what next we need to do or we need to think about in order to break even or even to get out of where we are. And that is exactly where Sandra has been for the longest time. And as we share this story, I don't want you to think that this is just about Sandra. The reason as to why we are here is because of you, that she gets to pivot and make it in her life, but again, you get to pivot and make it in your life and make proper decisions that will align with where you want to be and the things that you want to do in life. Don't go away.